Hey everybody, welcome back. Last time at the Red Barn, we made great progress on the exhaust for the Ferrari Swap 914, and in this episode, Martin's back. And we started on the oil cooler lines, and then I start tackling the radiator mount. Oh, and the kitties. At the end, we've got the kitties at the spay and neuter clinic, and then we take them down to Morty's, and you get to check that out too. That I know you'll enjoy. All right, we're in the presence of greatness again. Martin has come by. Say hi, Martin.
Hi,
just
guys.
like always.
Hi, guys.
We're going to see if we can get him to talk more this episode. Okay, so what we're working on today is we're changing out these oil line fittings. This is the Ferrari air oil separator, and this is the low pressure return line that goes from the scavenge pump in the motor up out here to an oil cooler, back into the air oil separator, into the sump that's in the transaxle, and then feeds to the pump that's in the motor. So there are adapters that go from this M30 fitting to an AN, but you know, it's another fail point, etc. So we're just going to hack this thread off and weld on these weld-on bungs. So I'll have a direct AN connection to this, and we're going to do the same thing on the end of this tube. And you know me in aluminum, so I've asked Martin to come over and do the duty. Yeah, cutting up Ferrari parts, what's the big deal? Okay, and with the air oil separator and the low pressure line got set up with their AN fittings, we got oil cooling underway. Now let's get some water cooling underway. And what's going on up here are a couple of things. One, those of you familiar with 914s will notice a couple things that aren't standard. This plate is not standard, and this bar is not standard, but it's a semi-common upgrade. And what's happening is directly under this area, this is actually part of the setup, there is this setup, and there's two more bolts back here that are the front A-arm mounting points. So a brace between them is not a bad idea. But what they also did, you know, so the plating over here, not a bad idea. But this little bump up nub is also like, I have no idea what's going on there, but I have to deal with it. And what I mean by that is, this is approximately the angle I want the radiator to sit at. And the reason a little bit of extra height here matters is because when the radiator starts getting up here near this headlight bucket, when the hood closes, I have to have enough clearance below this for the radiator not to interfere with the part of the trunk lid, or the, you know, the hood lid that comes around the corner and has a stiffening rib right here. So I got to manage the height in this area, and that may be a problem. So I'm going to start fitting the radiator and see where I get. Okay, so I did some test fitting, and those nubs were not doing me any favors. So I didn't bother filming it, because who wants to watch me use cutoff wheels and sanders and all kinds of noisy, messy things. Anyway, those nubs are gone. So this is the Renegade Hybrids kit radiator for the 914. And the way it mounts is, you can see there are these two pins at the bottom. Well, they sit in some provided with the kit little isolators. And so what has to happen here, that's approximately where it sits in the 914 LS car. And, you know, I gotta say, done! And you can see it's down below the seal lip for the headlight, well, for the hood seal. It's down plenty below that. So this is where it's gonna sit, is right here. So now I'm going to make a mount, and the first thing I'm going to do is make a rectangular frame out of 1/2-inch square tube. And I didn't bother filming it, but got the cold saw set up for 45-degree angle cut some 1/2-inch square tube, and got everything measured out, and I got a jig set up here on the fixture table that locks everything down square. Got the ends prepped, did the 45 cuts, beveled those edges on the disc sander, and got everything measured and measured square, so it's locked and loaded and ready to weld. Alright, there's the radiator, and here is the front mount. So what'll happen is, this will get, obviously once it's all powder coated and finished, it'll get a layer of foam that this radiator will lean up against to seal, but that's how that sits. Now, the way it works in the car is, this will sit down in there about like that, and then what I'll do is make a mount that this attaches to that is bolted down to the chassis here, both sides, and also has a pad with a hole in it, again, obviously on both sides, where those locating pins and those rubber isolators sit. So the bottom of the radiator is supported here, foam against this, so it's resting this way. Then I'll make some struts that run from this front bar, pardon me, run from this front bar down to the chassis, and have a couple of tabs here that, again, whole mount will be removable. And then the radiator, again, is sort of sitting here leaning forward, and the only thing that holds the radiator in is just like in the LS car, and here's a picture of that. So there we go. First part done. Now to work out the bottom mount and the struts. Well, I figure I better check out the LS car if I'm going to copy this design, and I'm glad I did, because if you look right here, you'll see, from the edge of the headlight bucket over to the inside of where my thumb is touching. It's about that far. And here's the Ferrari car. It's only that far. What's going on here? Well, the LS car is a 1975 car, and this is a 72, I think? Yeah, 72. These are the original style bumpers for this year car, 72. The 75 has what's affectionately referred to as BUBS, B-U-B-S, big ugly bumpers. Hydraulic safety required bumpers, and a completely different chassis at the front. So I'm glad I checked, because that same mount approach is not going to work here. I'm going to end up with a strut coming forward in approximately this location, and you can see there's nothing for it to land on right here. Not in the same way. So what I think I'm going to do is I may stand something up a teeny bit and then have it tick back like this, because this is the surface that I need to mount the shroud to. So I can't just do that. But I have some stuff to work out. Now what? Well, the exhaust has come out, and we're starting over. And I say we, Martin's here. You'll hear from him in just a second. And I had some information that I was basing the original approach on, and it turns out that that information was not as accurate as it otherwise might have been. And that was that I had no crossover in this system. And the reason it ended up starting in that direction was I was talking with some people who are involved with a Ferrari Challenge car, and I said, hey, I'm building a exhaust system for a 360 motor. Do I need a crossover? And the information I got was, no, this Challenge car doesn't have one. And I thought, oh, okay, cool. And then a couple comments came in and said, hey, you need a crossover, or you want a crossover from a sound perspective. So I started looking on my own and found all kinds of Ferrari Challenge cars that have regular crossover mufflers in them. So yes, the answer is, after all that, starting from scratch. So Martin is here, and so what's going to happen, it looks like, is I am going to sacrifice some trunk space and there's going to be a crossover that sits above the transaxle. After looking at a bunch of different options, including cutting away the back part of this case, because as you may remember, that's hollow, I decided I didn't want to do that, and I'm willing to sacrifice some trunk space. And so that's what we're doing. And so what Martin has spent his morning messing with is drawing out an X-pipe design that meets our requirements. And now we're cutting up some steel tubing.
And the way we arrived at that, by the way, is we had this as a 1/4 of our X, and so we could move these in and out and back and forth to get the right distance. And then I took the 1 and basically laid that on top of our grid and established where the cut lines are going to be. So the cut lines are going to be where the big black lines are, which is this and this. So then what you do is you put this tube on that.
So basically we're just 3D'ing this drawing up onto the tube.
So that comes forward to there.
To make all the pieces.
And then I can then that's what that line is. It's just that line transferred.
So while Martin is doing that, I have pulled out the header, and this was the header that was the long header, if you will. This is the driver's side header, and because of the cylinder offset, remember I had to add 1.46 inches to the other side. Well, I just cut off 1.46 inches from this side, disassembled everything, so the slip fit is now going to go right here. And the reason for that is, in order to get this exhaust system out of the car, because it is going to be coming up, the goal is the tubes are going to come up through here and join the X, and then the mufflers are going to be like in the LS car. They're going to be stood up back here with an in and an out on the same end. So it's going to come in high, come out low, and the muffler will be completely hidden in the car up under the bumper. So there will be nothing except exhaust pipes and the transmission case visible. So it's kind of like what you're seeing over here. That's kind of where we're headed. But because I want to take advantage of those slips, this whole assembly is going to be one piece. The X is going to be welded to these down tubes. And so in order to install this section of the exhaust, the struts are going to have to swing out of the way. The assembly is going to have to be put down into the car and then slid straight forward, which means those angled slips won't do me any favors. It would be impossible to assemble with that. So they got to be pointing straight back, which is why that is now underway. So I'm sure some of you, if you're still watching, are saying, you are never going to finish this car. And I would say, maybe, but I can't build a Ferrari powered car and have it sound like, two Honda Civics at the same time. It's just, I have to be sure that this exhaust sounds good too. So at the end of the day, let's just say what you've heard me say before. It's just metal, and this is just going to be version 4. Let's hope that this one is the one that sticks. Give us the 1-2 on this.
We've made our first cut, and we have 4 theoretically equal pieces. Now our second cut will be along this line right here to bring these all together.
Right, and the kicker about this is I could have just bought one, and I did, thinking I would save time. And this is the one I got. Now, granted, this is just an Amazon cheapie because I wanted to sort of do a proof of concept. But after it got here and I started looking at it and started looking at others, once I saw this, I couldn't unsee it. And that is, if you look at the exhaust flow, this tube comes up and it doesn't actually continue straight. It actually jumps over by, what's that, a 1/2 inch? So this really isn't aligned. And same thing on this side. It's completely not aligned. I started looking at higher endy product and they're aligned. And so I figure it's not worth cheaping out on something like that. So if you look at the difference, when this thing's all put together, if you can sort of see underneath the drawing, the whole drawing is exactly, everything's parallel. This line, there's the drawing. You can see that this line from this pipe comes right across and heads right into the radius of this one. So it's more better. And yeah, it's more time and more money, but we cannot cut corners on this build. Just cannot cut corners on this build. So, Martin, back to it.
Oh, you may ask yourself, how do you get all 4 of these equal? right? So what I did is I found a height that works. And so I can come down here and I can see that this one is a little high. And then I can check this one and I can go, and what I'm looking for is this gap right here.
I can't really, yeah, you're not going to be able to see it. Maybe you can see it, but he's eyeballing, and you got to watch it. You're not getting into the radius, and there's all kinds of fun stuff that goes on.
So this one actually is good.
Right.
So that means I have to make the others the same.
Right.
And so you can see.
Let's see if, can we get one in there?
This one, you can see the gap. Can you see the gap?
I don't think I can see the gap, but there's a gap. So the good news is it's just a visual quick check of how close this cut is to being finalized and that it's at the right angle for everything.
And you can pick it up to be parallel and know that that's how much I have to take off.
Right, so it's also a measuring gauge or a visual measuring gauge at the end of the day. So do we take it down to this level of detail? Well, here at the Red Barn, as you well know, the answer is yes. And, you know, some of you may be saying, can't you do that, Chris? And the answer is, well, I could, but like I've said before, having a buddy in the shop kicking these ideas around, it's not like Martin just said, here, let me go build this. We've been talking for the past couple days about what is this shape going to look like? What's the dimension that it needs to be to fit with where we want the other tubes to go? And while he's working on this, I am over here fixturing up the jig, fixturing up a fixture so that I can get this radiator mount made. So at this point, I'm kind of trying to make progress on the build, as much fun as it is to do all this stuff. When I can get stuff done and done well, at the same time I'm doing something else, it's a win-win. So
another little detail, find the one you like, make sure you mark it master and that match master or something to X's, whatever you want to do. That's the one we're going to match it to.
Remember in the last episode where I welded something onto the wrong piece because I didn't label them? There you go, label them. Okay, so fixturing all that stuff up on the fixture table, I got these tabs bent at the angle that I want this to sit, the radiator to sit at, and there's a flat surface right here that is coincidental with the chassis. So when this goes into place, and I've got some marks here that you won't be able to see, it gives me the, you know, kind of approximate repeatable location. But the bottom of it will sit approximately there, and the top, there's a little mark on the chassis here. And then I made these up. I mentioned earlier that I wanted something for these struts that came forward and then had to drop because this needs to be at the right level to support the shroud. So these will get a tab on the inside, and I'll put like a rib nut in here or something. And this will sit, it's all slippery down here because there's not much surface for it to stick to. But that is the frame. With that first side essentially tacked, Martin went ahead and cut the middle cut for the joint, and now we're just going to make sure that it's square and then getting ready to do the cut for the other one. All right, second cut. But you can see, compared to the other X, boom, this thing runs right where it's supposed to run. Okay, gore alert. If you don't like gore, look away. I was drilling for some Cleco holes, and as the drill punched through, I was pushing a little too hard, and my hand went right down like that and just peeled back a flap of skin. And the way it's moving, I'm headed to the emergency room. Everything's fine. Martin's going to continue on, so we probably aren't going to see video of what he's got going, but the good news is everything on the X-pipe is essentially ready to go, and when you see it next time, it'll be tacked together. That's all. So, apologies for the bad move, but there you have it. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, after a quick trip to the emergency room, I'm back. It looks a lot worse than it is. It was 5 stitches. I'm fine. No permanent damage. All right, I've got a plate, a little tab mount here. The strut's in place. Everything's good to go, so now to just tack this in. Okay, and let me just cover one of these lower mounts. Little templating, and this is what we've got. There's a base plate. It looks like that. And it's cut that way because there's some under pieces, you know, that poke out in places you can't tell with paper. So this thing slides back to there, and it's bent. It's bent up to capture that chassis component. And then this piece will sneaks underneath the frame a little bit. I still have to trim it a touch, but then that'll sit like that and then get welded together. Okay, here's where I got. There's the mount. So we have the original platform for the radiator. Then I got this side brace, the lower plate, and this is where the fastener is gonna go. Pay no attention to that. It's just a test piece. But here's how this all works. Now I don't have it clecoed in at the front, but you can see, you know, the cleco holes line up, the cleco holes line up. And then this is just an old partial Renegade system radiator shroud, but I just want to show you what this is all about. This thing just slides right down there like that. But that gives you the basic idea. Obviously, I still have to do that side, but that gives you the basic idea of the mount, and so we're nearly done. I think I'm running out of time. I don't want to make this video too long. So that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed that. Apologize for the backwardsness on the exhaust and for the gory situation with my hand. But it's all good. We'll figure it all out. So until next time, I appreciate it. Leave me a comment, like, share, subscribe if you haven't, and everybody take care. We'll see you real soon. Bye-bye. Okay, here we are at the Animal Hospital of Sebastopol for the spay and neuter clinic. And here are all the kitty cats. These are all the kitty cats that are at the spay and neuter clinic. And there's our girl Toddy. She's very nervous. And there's Vespy. Yep. And where's our boys? Where's our boys? There's Mr. Punch. There's Punchy. There's Punchy. He's a little bit scared. He's a little scared. And there's Smash. Smash is in the pink box. Hi, buddy. How you doing? Oh, I know. It's the most noise they've heard ever. So yeah, this is just, I think there's 18 kitties that are getting done today. Oh, and there's the shop cat.
And this is Wednesday.
So there you go. That's the spay and neuter clinic, and then I'll be back with the wrap up at the end of the day. Oh, well, here we are after the spay and neuter.
Texted me.
And here's, oh, look at this. Guess who that is? That's little hot Toddy. Hi, Toddy. Hi, Toddy. How are you? Hi, Toddy. Hi. That's a big adventure.
Thank you so much.
Yes, hi. And then here's Vespy. Oh, look at little Vespy. Hi. Hi. How's everybody?
They'll be fine once they're not contained anymore.
They just want to be, they just need some attention. Hi, little ones. Hi. Hi. Hi, Vespy. Yeah, we got to get you back to Morty's, and then we'll let you out. Oh, look at you. You feeling okay? Oh, what kind of noise is that? Look at them. They're very needy.
I know. Come on over here.
Okay, hold on. We got to put you back. I know. Okay, everybody be quiet. Is this the boys?
Yeah.
There's the Punch Man.
There's little Punch.
There's the Punch Man.
And there's little Smash.
Smasheroni, hey bud, how are you? Look how happy you look. You look very attentive. They look like they're recovering just fine.
Yeah.
And there you go. That's the happy hour crew, spay and neuter.
Okay.
Look at this boy. He wants out. He wants out. Okay, we got to get him. We got to get him off to Morty's. Okay. Bye-bye. Okay, it's Tuesday after spay and neuter, so they've been recovering for a little bit, and here we are at the Petaluma Outlet Malls, and we are at Morty's Used Book Nook and Cat Adoption Lounge, which is actually part of Petaluma Pet Pals, and they are only open Saturdays and Sundays, but because my wife is a volunteer, we are going to come in and we are going to see Morty's. Oh, and look who's here. The crazy happy hour crew, and these guys could not be happier. Look at him. Hello, hello, Toddy. Smash Man, Puncher. And there's Vespy. Hi, Vespy. Oh, little Vespy. Okay, let's go in and see.
Welcome to Morty's.
Well, say again.
Welcome to Morty's.
Yeah. Now, before we start with the happy hour crew, this is Electric. He is the mascot kitty. He is a flame point Siamese with the most electric blue eyes. I don't think I'm going to get a good shot of him. But here's Morty's. It's a used book nook, and there's not a lot of cats here right now. They had a great adoption season. Here's Fiona up on top of the cat tree, and you can just see a bunch of books.
Colleen.
Who's this?
Colleen.
Colleen.
Peabody.
Peabody. There's Electric again. And before we go see the happy hour crew, let's show. Oh, there's one of the volunteers, Leslie. And here's Coffee Cake. Oh, she's not out yet.
Is she hot?
She's very timid.
She's in her hidey.
She's a little bit quiet. Oh, there's Peabody. Oh, who's this black and white guy?
Okay, thank you.
Who's this guy?
This is Jake.
Jake's otherwise occupied. He's got a toy. Oh, he's got a toy. Hey, Jake. What's that, buddy? Hey, what's that? Oh. So yeah, here's Morty's. Now,
There's Jake.
oh, here's Jay. Looks a lot like Pandora. Oh, a little white necklace. Now, this is a trick to get in here because these guys are the most excited, happiest little kitties.
They are escape artists.
And they are escape artists, as you just heard my wife say. Oh my goodness, how are we gonna do this? So, oh, there's Hot Toddy. Hi, Toddy. How are you? Oh, hi, Smasher. Hi. Oh, look at this guy. He's he's a climber. Okay.
Hello, Vespy. Well, look at this.
Hello, Vespy. Hi. Hi, Todd. Hi, Todd. Hi, Vespy. Hi.
I think they miss us, and they miss the kitty casita.
Yep. This is the first time they have not had carpeted floor, so they're not quite sure what to do. They're sliding all over the place. And like I said, they got here on Sunday. Oh, hi, buddy. Look at that. Oh, he's the punch man. Hi. Oh, there's a Smasher. Hi.
So here, you take this, and let's have a little information. So when little girls are spayed who are going to be in a home, what they do is they have little tattoos on their bellies.
Oh, yep. There's a tattoo.
So that indicates, if she is found outside, that she has been spayed. When cats are spayed or neutered and released back into a feral colony, oftentimes they will clip an ear so that at a glance you can see from a distance that they have been spayed or neutered.
Yep.
But when they're going into a home, they don't want to do that.
Yeah, they don't clip them.
So the girls both have tattoos.
The boys don't have tattoos?
No, because it's kind of obvious if stuff's missing back there.
I see. Yes, yes, you heard that. It's obvious that they've been messed with, and they are all microchipped now as well.
Yes.
So once they're adopted, and by the way, there are already people coming to see these guys. They are quite popular.
So a microchip is about the size of a grain of rice, and it's inserted with a needle, and it's usually done right between their shoulder blades.
Yeah.
And a microchip will have owner information, so that if kitties get lost, vets or rescues or shelters have chip readers, and every number is individual, and so they can track the cat and its owner.
Yep.
And that also goes for dogs.
Yep.
Oh.
So I think I have a pal. I think I have a buddy. Hi, my friend. Oh.
Yeah, he is something special.
He's a love bug. Yes, he is. And so is this one. Okay, and there he goes. Boop. And here's Vespy coming up for a little bit of. Yeah, these guys are so cool. Yeah, so everybody is just happy, and
Excited to go to their forever
oh
homes.
yeah, these guys are going to be here for not very long. Oh, look at the Smasher. He's such a boy.
Hi, sweetie.
Hi, bud. Hi, bud. Oh, somebody's getting tired. But there you go. So this brings to conclusion Julep and the Happy Hour crew. And speaking of Julep, I will say she is still back with us at the casita, and she's going to be there until they get her in for spay and neuter. Although she may be coming down here. Oh, hello. She may be coming down here before that. Some of this stuff is just TBD based on room availability and that sort of thing. And what often happens is, like what you're seeing here, these guys are down here getting acclimated, and there are often times where cats, as you saw with Coffee Cake, she still hides. Some cats just take a while to get comfortable. These guys are all but ready to head out into the lounge and become free roamers. But like I said, this is going to wrap it up with the Happy Hour crew, and I really appreciate you guys watching. I hope you've enjoyed the kitty stuff, and please, please, please support your local rescue. Always spay and neuter. Trap, neuter, released if you have the chance to help out ferals. And we'll see y'all again real soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Aren't they awesome?
I have what is called a kitty puddle. I have what is what you call a kitty puddle. Oh, and now my wife is back at the door. I think they recognize her, because boy, oh boy, they just want to go. Oh, the puncher is tired. He wants to take a little bit of a nap. Hi, Don. Hi, Smash. Oh, look at the boys. Yeah, look at these guys. I am completely surrounded. Hi. Oh, look at this. Hi, bud. Hi, bud. What you doing? Hi. 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 Hello. Oh. You're sliding down. You're sliding down. Hi. Oh, there he goes. Boom. Vunk.